Right now we're heading to Creative Studios for a shoot with Hyuna Shin. How are you? Hello, hello.
Nice to meet you, I'm Tori.
Cameron, wonderful to meet you.
The life of a male model.
You look great.
Thank you, thank you. What do we got going on today?
Shooting you.
Yeah.
What could be more glamorous?
Hair and makeup's done. I'm about to get wardrobe on and start shooting.
1, 2, 3, nice. Yes, that's great.
In the next hour, we'll hear their stories.
This is my job. How lucky am I?
Aspiring models and guys who seem to have it all. The faces of Tommy Hilfiger and Calvin Klein.
This is a perfect Calvin Klein model.
But beyond the runway and behind the photo shoots, there's real life.
That's the good part. And the free food. This is what I do for a living.
A life that can often be unglamorous.
Here is the living room, the bedroom.
Everybody wants that 15 minutes of fame, and this is the way to get it.
I need rent money, guys.
I'm in debt all over the world right now.
The biggest challenge is making a living.
All to make it big.
It's all worth it once you get that image.
1, 2, 3, nice.
Every model has a story.
I was building houses for 6 years.
I was a janitor at Whole Foods.
I was a plumber. I had no idea that modeling was even a thing.
I'm Pedro Andrade. I was a model myself. As a teenager, I was discovered near the beaches of Rio. I went from Brazil to Europe, Asia, and finally, New York. I was extremely lucky. So what's life really like for those men you see on buses and billboards? Ads with blue-eyed icons and six-pack abs. Let's get one thing out of the way. It's not like in the movies. Ben Stiller's take on male modeling is 15 years old, and it hasn't gone out of style.
Did you ever think that maybe there's more to life than being really, really, really ridiculously good looking?
Cameron Keesling gets the joke, and he's the real deal, 23 and new to modeling. How long have you been modeling?
I've been signed for a little over a year now.
He's flown around the world, walked the runways in Paris, and posed for photo shoots in New York. But before all that, he was here, in Barrow County, Georgia.
Appalachia High School, home of the Wildcats.
Walking down these halls, you never thought you were rehearsing for the next Givenchy fashion show in Paris.
Not in the least bit. Never would have even crossed my mind. I hear from, random classmates every now and then once they realize that I'm modeling and stuff, because most of the times it's people that used to pick on me or something, and then they realize I'm doing good, and they're like, hey, look, I was friends with you in high school. I'm like, no, you picked on me every day, but okay.
This is where he grew up.
It's a different world, my friend.
It is indeed. Good old trailer park.
What is it like being here right now?
It's different. I've got a lot of, a rush of a lot of different memories.
As a kid, he lived in this double wide with his mom and his sisters. His father wasn't around. 6
people and 5 cats and a dog.
So you grew up in this one right here?
Yeah, this trailer right here. Still got the potholes in the same spots. It's crazy being back here.
You're a model?
Yeah, I am now. Most of the year, I'm out traveling. Last year, I spent 3 months in Thailand. And then I spent the month of January in Milan, Paris, and London.
I just want to take a picture with him and be like, dude, I met a famous guy in my trailer park.
I mean, you can if you want to.
There's another. 1, 2, 3. Nice.
Huzzah.
Is there anything about this place that you miss? Honestly.
I'd just say the friends. Other than that, no. I'd be perfectly fine never seeing this place again.
His years here were tough.
When did you get your tattoos?
When I was 18 and 19.
One says anyone can start today and make a new ending. Because for a while he was headed in a bad direction. He used drugs. He'd burn himself. And once, with a bottle of pills, he tried to commit suicide.
Didn't really believe in myself, didn't have any confidence whatsoever. I felt like an outcast in that, like I didn't even really deserve to be here. You know, as I'm laying there in a hospital trying to choke down this thick cherry-flavored charcoal drink, you know, my mom comes in and then I just lost it, you know, having my mom see me like that. That's the last thing I wanted. So how's it going, man?
His friend Coas drove him to that hospital.
There were some things in the past I'm sure y'all have heard of. And I mean, from there, he's not a completely different guy, but that side of him has been pretty well put to rest.
Today, Coas works in an auto supply store, and they're able to joke about Cameron's job and some of his pictures.
There's some of them I was like, Cameron, what are you doing, man? But you know, then I think, oh, it's Europe. Okay, that kind of explains it. They make their cars weird. They make, I guess, their clothes weird too. It's been a trip to see him progress from the trailer park to an international runway. That's about the best way to explain where Cameron comes from.
Modeling has changed his life, but it was never Cameron's plan.
Find a tree and hug it, I guess.
You were born to do this.
Yeah, I'm a natural, I guess.
He was a typical Georgia kid. Grew up camping, hunting, skateboarding. After graduating high school, he didn't know what to do. But he dated a girl who modeled. At one of her shoots, the photographer asked to take pictures of Cameron. This is a photo from that day. His tattoos, a part of his look.
Seeing how well the photos came out, it really made me believe in myself.
He needed money, so he decided to give modeling a shot.
It would be quick, easy money. You know, I'd be making, you know, thousands upon thousands of dollars for, you know, not doing anything.
He created a profile on the website Model Mayhem and got lucky. An agent contacted him, and Cameron thought it was the chance he'd been waiting for.
You know, my ultimate goal is to be able to pay off my mom's house and be able to help take care of them.
Soon, he was booked on a flight to New York.
People I know, you know, haven't even been out of the state. So, you know, it's just been absolutely incredible.
The road to success as a male model usually goes through here, New York City.
They flew me out to New York.
Bought a ticket and I came in New York.
I just felt so lucky.
I didn't like it at first, but I think now I've fallen in love with the city.
Modeling agencies, fashion houses, magazines, they're all here. A magnet for thousands of young models every year. They show up with big dreams.
I think almost all of them show up and not prepared to what is about to happen.
And little else. The truth is, there are risks. New York City is a fascinating place, but it harbors a lot of shady photographers, misleading casting calls, dishonest agents, and crooks of all sorts. Everyone in the business knows it.
If you're at a shoot and a photographer says, you know, strip down, get naked, I want to shoot nudes of you, and your agent hasn't cleared it, you don't have to do it.
Designers that no one's heard of and photographers that no one's heard of, those are the ones that you don't go to.
I've seen guys that come into it and let the whole partying and sort of that scene of it destroy their career.
Still, Cameron and hundreds of young men like him are willing to give it a shot. Cameron's agency bought him a ticket, he got on a plane for the third time in his life, and moved from his Georgia hometown to New York City.
So what was it like getting to New York for the first time?
Honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I had a lot of stereotypes already predetermined in my mind, you know, about all the bad stuff you hear about New York. So I was kind of worried about that, but the agency made a really warm welcome for me.
This is how it works. Agencies give models money for rent and other living expenses, but eventually, you have to pay it all back.
So you're advancing them their plane ticket. In many cases, you're advancing their visa, their accommodations, their food money, and giving them an allowance. If a model doesn't work within the first 3 months, their debt could be, you know, $8,000 to $20,000 easily.
Cameron arrived just in time for New York Fashion Week. It's when designers present their new clothes at nearly 100 fashion shows. It's also when models from around the world come looking for work. Cameron was lucky. He quickly landed his first show, and he started getting buzz written up by models.com as a new face to watch. But he also learned that there's plenty of rejection.
You could be running around, 20 plus castings, in one day and not book a single job.
We went with him to a go-see casting. That's where a designer sees if the model fits the clothes.
It's nice to have your book ready and a comp card on the first page so when they open it up, because they're going to take one anyways. And now we wait. I remember standing in line for 4 hours. The casting was on the 4th floor. The line wrapped all the way around the stairs down to the 1st floor and out the door. Hello, hello. How are you? I'm good, how are you?
Oh, great to see you.
Great to see you too.
Oh, amazing, how is it going?
Today, the designer is Franco Lacosta. He used to be a model himself and has been on the reality show Model Latina.
You can have anything you want from me. I want you to really take advantage of me. So I can't wait to see your book. Do you have new stuff?
Yeah, I've actually gotten a couple of new things in there.
This is gorgeous. This is wonderful. So let's go and try some things on.
All right, let's do it.
Wow, look at this. Perfect. Perfect. Let me take a picture. You look amazing. Bang. This is red carpet. This is awesome. This is a more European guy going hunting, with the boots and the beautiful rifle and the hat. And
not quite what they wear hunting back in Georgia.
Like, look at me from there. Amazing.
It's nice to be able to be exposed to different tastes from around the world.
The casting is very important because the casting is the moment that you have with your client to be able to convince them that you are the one for the job. Because we are being bombarded with many looks.
And the model with the right look gets work. Today, one of them is Malik Lindo Ireland. In a short time, he's had great success, shooting ads for Abercrombie, Hugo Boss, and walking in New York Fashion Week. To see what success looks like, we went to this building in Midtown Manhattan that Malik calls home.
Hey, how's it going?
Good morning.
Good to see you.
How are you?
Good. All right. Welcome to the palace.
Here is the living room, the bedroom.
This is my bed. This is my big comfy bed where the magic happens. Those are a few of our friends.
How would you describe how you feel about this stage in your life, what you're going through right now?
I feel like it's an adventure.
He splits this apartment with his friend, another model. It's just 250 square feet, about the size of a parking space. I can almost touch it, almost.
We're living the dream though. Our stove here. My roommate actually cooks a lot. This is our sink. I mean, as much groceries as we can fit. I don't even know what's in our fridge. We got some orange juice, some vegetables, carrots, chicken.
Isn't it interesting that when people walk into a store, they see you with like a $2,000 jacket and $1,000 pair of jeans. They have no idea where.
You don't really know what to expect.
Do you guys have rules?
We're both like similar people, so I mean, we kind of like, know if one of us is sleeping or one of us has a job the next day.
Or one of us has a girlfriend?
Not
So you're from Canada?
From Canada. I'm originally from Toronto.
And you're 19?
I'm 19 years old.
Now, you mentioned that you did a job for Uniqlo, which is a huge brand.
Yeah.
Tommy Hilfiger, I mean, you're doing really well.
I've been blessed. It's a fun job for me, you know what I mean? My job before this was working at McDonald's.
How do you feel like financially?
I'm comfortable with my money, which is ultimately what I want to be. I want to come out of New York with more money than I came in with.
That's Cameron's goal too, but money is still tight. When he came to New York, he moved into this model's apartment in Brooklyn owned by his agency. It doesn't look glamorous, but Cameron says the shared space that cost him $1,200 a month was fine with him.
I was pretty happy with the model's apartment, but then again, I'm happy with, a roof over my head and a warm place to sleep.
And when you're living in a model's apartment, what do you eat? Where do you eat?
Sometimes I eat 1 protein bar a day and, I'm drinking water, juice, to hold me over.
Is your life here less glamorous than you expected it to be?
I would have to say yes, just because I had the misconceptions already set in my mind about the male modeling industry and New York in and of itself.
What's the biggest misconception when it comes to male models?
Dude, we do not eat. I eat so much, that's crazy. Every model's like an airhead.
Everyone thinks male models are gay, which I think is such a farce.
Models are just like mannequins.
That we're all really rich, because we're not.
They're just genuine guys, just got lucky.
Young male models starting out in New York see success everywhere.
Yes, sir, indeed.
Like, literally every ad you see, you're like, I could have gotten that job.
Yeah, like you remember the casting or you know the person in the ad and you're just like, oh, I hate you.
I've gone to 3 Old Navy campaign castings and I see the dudes that get the jobs and I'm like,
yeah, like, bro, man, I do not like you so much right now.
but you know, it's love though. So
yeah, I mean, to each their own, man.
We're all in the same struggle anyways.
Cameron, Connor, and Masood, all new to the business, friends that share the same agent.
If you're hungry, man, let's get some White Castle.
And the same challenges of life as a young model.
We had about 11 or 12 guys staying in the same apartment.
12 people to 2 bathrooms and everybody's trying to get ready by like 7 o'clock in the morning.
They're beginning to get small bites of success. Masood had a shoot with Ralph Lauren. Connor walked the runway for Hermes. But more often than not, it's disappointment.
I was playing basketball with some buddies, and all of a sudden I get a call on my cell phone, I answer it, and somebody's going, hey, you're on hold for Versace, it's $30,000.
On hold means you've almost got the job.
And you're sitting there freaking out, like, oh my God, I have $30,000, flipping out, so excited. Like, I booked Versace, then all of a sudden they're like, no, you didn't get it.
Oh, never mind, sorry about that. Once you confirm a job, it's like, it's the best.
Yeah, it's a huge relief. It's like the world is just falling off your shoulders.
Just 3 months after moving to the city, Cameron got that feeling. He was booked for a big job, the cover of Vogue Italy. So what was that phone call like? Cameron, you just got the cover of Vogue Italy.
It honestly really blew my mind. I never would have expected to get a call like that.
The shoot for an Italian magazine was here on the Lower East Side. Wow, Schiller's. I know this restaurant.
Yeah.
This is where the magic happened.
This is exactly where it happened. The cover was actually shot right over there. And then we also did some shooting up against the bar and up against this mirror over here.
This is video from that day. It was big because of the brand, Vogue, but even bigger because of the photographer. Steven Meisel is one of the best in the world. Were you nervous?
I was incredibly nervous. He actually had to say something to me because he could tell how nervous I was.
What about when you walked out of here?
I was absolutely enthralled. I felt like $1 million, to be honest.
But he certainly didn't earn $1 million. In fact, for this big cover shoot with a famous photographer, he was paid nothing at all. It might surprise you, but it's not unusual.
Cameron's now in the stage of his career where he's seeing the biggest people in the industry. The biggest people in the industry have responded to him, and what we hope to do from that is the advertising.
Jeffrey Colesrud is Cameron's New York City agent.
Are you in Manhattan?
And the owner of Q Model Management.
So a magazine, whether you're a supermodel or whether it's your first time working with them, you get paid $125 for the day's work.
Magazine covers have value, but to find the real money, you have to turn the page to the ad campaigns inside.
Men's fragrance, for instance, would be something every male model would want to do, and I would say that would be $40,000 to $150,000.
That's $150,000 for a one-day shoot. But until you can land a high-paying campaign, you take any job you can get. And a magazine spread or cover can get an advertiser's attention.
And the models do that because it's the best exposure you can get. And then hopefully somebody like Calvin Klein will see that and pick it up.
That's why we went to meet Clark Bockelman, the current face of Calvin Klein. What does that mean, to be the face of one of the most iconic brands in the world?
People at home say it's like, oh, so you're modeling underwear? You know, they think of the underwear packaging because I feel like you see that everywhere.
But he is everywhere, walking in their runway shows on the biggest billboard in New York City.
Well, when your head's bigger than a van, it's a little strange.
And pretty soon, he'll be a fixture in their stores, literally.
2 weeks ago, I did the mannequin. So I will be that guy. It's not me now, but in about a year, I'll be that guy.
That's a problem I've never had. Italo Zucchelli is Calvin Klein's creative director and designs the men's collection.
A lot of the people that this brand launched into the world, like Kate Moss, Marky Mark, became superstars.
Now that could definitely come between me and my Calvins.
How much does the face of Calvin Klein influence the clothes of Calvin Klein?
He exudes confidence, he's strong, he has character, and I also design for this kind of person. So they kind of really go hand in hand and they influence each other.
Not long ago, Clark was just another student at the University of Denver. Fashion was the last thing on his mind. And if I asked you back then, what do you think you're going to be doing in 3 years? What would you have told me?
Might have been a ski bum, a lifty.
But Clark's a lucky guy. A family friend thought he should model. And on a trip to Miami, he got hooked up with a local agent.
And he took one look at me and he goes, "You're going to be way too big for me in a year's time, so I'm going to send you to somebody else."
That somebody else was the famous photographer Bruce Weber. He's the guy behind all those black and white Abercrombie ads. He's also made the careers of countless models, and right away, he liked Clark.
He met me, I took some pictures with them, and he's like, "You know, how long are you in town?" And I said, "Till Saturday." On Friday, I'm shooting an editorial with Alessandra Ambrosio and Irina Shayk. I didn't know who they were at the time. I looked them up online, and it freaked me out.
You didn't have a lot of experience at all?
None. I was in ballet tights, and I had angel wings strapped on my back, and I had maracas, and we were salsa dancing on the beach. You know, I was dancing with these 2 supermodels. I'm a kid from Indiana, and I haven't had a day in my life of salsa dancing. I have no idea what I'm doing.
But he liked it. So Clark left college and winged his way to New York to see if he could make modeling a career. And luck struck again.
And I was in Soho. Some guy, he just yells at me from across the street. He's like, "Hey, stop." Runs through traffic, and he comes over, and he's like, "Are you a model?" Turned out he was a casting director for the men's shows for Calvin Klein.
What would you say sets him apart from all the hundreds of blondes with blue eyes out there?
Definitely he has something more. Women like him, men like him. This is a perfect Calvin Klein model.
The job has given him a comfortable life, and I assume a lot of money come your way. How do you deal with that?
I guess you could split it into thirds. Thirds for living, thirds for spending, thirds for saving.
He shares a high-rise with his model girlfriend, and his Instagram shows he enjoys life. Cheering at the Kentucky Derby, sailing in the Virgin Islands, even ice climbing in Vermont.
Woo! Beer tonight!
But he's still got mountains to climb. We went with him to the New World Trade Center and the headquarters of GQ.
So nice to see you.
Yeah, you as well.
A go-see with casting director Victoria Graham.
I love your Calvin. It's amazing. You look great. We're looking for somebody that is elegant, handsome, and relatable to our audience and our readers. Beautiful.
Being on covers might not pay much, but they're prestigious. And nothing's bigger than the cover of American GQ.
I got one goal in the industry, that's it.
I have no doubt. From the minute I met you, I knew you had that it factor.
Thanks.
We shoot a lot of athletes, a lot of actors, musicians, and the real estate for models is extremely selective.
Even for Clark, the cover is a challenge. Celebrities are taking top modeling jobs in ad campaigns too. Clark's old Calvin Klein billboard now shows Justin Bieber. Everyone's competing for the same work, including Cameron.
It's stressful. I'm more so after the money to be able to help pay off my mom's house and help them with bills and stuff.
Okay, buddy, come here. Come here.
It might surprise you, but one of the first things you ever learn to do
Oh my God!
can be a big problem for models. The walk. It's tougher than it looks, and it can make or break a career.
When I just started, my walk was horrible.
You know, I thought I walked all right until I started modeling.
You're the victim?
Yeah.
Perfect. You look good standing. Tara Lanaway can help.
One more time.
She teaches new male models to walk at the huge modeling agency Wilhelmina.
So if he was going to a casting director at this point could say, okay, that's great, but I want you to do this and really slow it down. They just need to look really natural at what they're doing, and it's not so hard. I mean, they're not wearing heels, you know, it's not fancy turns.
What are some of the tips for someone to walk well down the runway?
Imagine that you're like in a nightclub or something and the girl across the bar has been looking at you and you have to walk up to her. Like that's the sort of like determination you need to have.
I like that.
I used to do fashion shows as a model, but truth is, I've never really liked my walk.
If I walk, will you tell me if it's bad?
Yes. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, let's see.
But give it to me though. Tell me the truth.
Well, all right.
Oh my God. I hate my walk, by the way, so I'm humiliating myself on national television.
You're a good sport.
All right, let's see. Oh no, they're even looking at me. Oh my God. Oh, I can't do this.
No, I think you're doing good. You shouldn't have looked down though. Don't look down. There. Now we got it.
Fail.
I think you could do it.
That's why I'm a reporter. See?
But models need the skills. Cameron needed them during runway season. He did what most young models do. He flew around the world looking for jobs, walking. It was an amazing travel experience for a kid who had barely left Georgia, but he didn't find a lot of work. In Thailand, he got a couple of gigs. In Milan, he struck out. But in France, he landed a huge job. Here he is, walking in the Givenchy show for Paris Fashion Week. The look even got Snoop Dogg's attention on Instagram.
That's the biggest runway show I've done. It's actually one of the bigger jobs I've done. So that was a really enjoyable experience.
He got paid for the show, but not even enough to cover the cost of his travel. Models do the shows because they hope brands will then use them in ad campaigns. The goal? To be like this guy, RJ King. He's 23, the same age as Cameron, and they've worked together. He was on the same Vogue Italy cover. But he's at a very different stage of his career.
I've done Prada, I've done Armani, I've done Dolce, Louis Vuitton, YSL. So you're a new face, you just got signed to an agency, you're not gonna be doing the fashion campaigns.
The catwalk led to big financial success.
The fashion shows are what puts you on the map.
He's now the face of Tommy Hilfiger, the star of many of their ads.
Did Tommy do this for you?
Yeah.
Tight enough with Tommy to get a personalized sketch of his work on the runway.
What goes through your mind before you step on that runway?
It's a rush. There's so much money that goes into this production of the runway show. The designer to your right, the stylist there, they're all fixing you last minute. It's this big, like, you know, last few seconds before you step out. And then when you step out, the music is the only thing that is surrounding you. And then there's just camera flashes.
RJ doesn't walk the runway much anymore. He spends more time walking his new puppy.
This is Baby. This is the new baby dog. Named Baby. Yeah.
And he does recognize how strange the catwalk can look.
I don't think I walk to the subway the same way that I used to walk the runway or that I would walk the runway now. When I get out there and I'm thinking about what I'm actually doing, I sometimes have to really fight back a smile or a laugh.
He knows there's something funny about modeling. A couple of years back, he did a comedy bit online about the misconceptions called RJ's World.
But I'm not here to make friends. Like right now. I'm turning off Matt's alarm clock so he sleeps through his castings.
It wasn't funny at the beginning of his career.
This is RJ.
He also had struggles. He flew to New York from Missouri for his first casting. It ended in failure.
There were like 15 of us guys, and I think 4 of us or 5 of us ended up getting the exclusive, me not included. So I was back on a plane to St. Louis.
Eventually, it all worked out, but not even RJ is sure why.
How much of it is luck and how much of it is talent?
Luck will get you there, and then your own business and your management can get you to the next level. So to be able to get yourself to a place where it's a career and not a hobby is the most challenging part.
That's the place where Cameron's at, hoping for a little luck, but not bringing in much money.
The runway shows for Fashion Week, you know, they'll pay you with clothes, or you you might get, a couple $100.
But correct me if I'm wrong, you can't pay your landlord with clothes, so what do you do?
Exactly. I give the nice clothes away that I get because a lot of the time it's not my style, but I have friends that would wear stuff like that, and I feel good being able to, let them have that experience of having, like a $400 shirt.
And after his travels, he got back to his routine in New York, taking the subway to get around town to castings.
I like the Thai subways. They're a lot cleaner.
Yes.
A lot cleaner.
That's pretty cool that you can say this, right?
Yeah.
I like the Thai subway. Did you ever think you were going to be saying those things?
No, no, man, never. Never in my life.
He hoped that his work on the runway overseas would help him land a big campaign.
Hello.
But until then, every night in New York put him further into debt.
Y'all have a good day.
How much money have you made in this career?
I haven't made a single penny. I'm in debt all over the world right now, but the only thing I've gained is life experience.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years? I don't know.
I'd like to do photography. I've picked up a camera a few times and done a few editorials.
It's a long time. Hopefully, I have enough saved for modeling just to finish off my degree.
I don't really think about that. I sort of live in the moment. I don't try and plan. Life just gives you things. I try not to think too much about it.
Male modeling is a young man's game. Most models who hit it big are in their 20s. Success usually means a career of just a few years.
I tell all of the models, save your money. This is not forever.
Any other career, you work your way up to the top. And here, a model can work their way up to the top, but once they've reached the top, when it's done, and it's over.
But for a lucky few, and I mean very few, modeling can be a long-term career.
Where are we going tonight, do you know?
My friend Alex Lundquist is that rare exception. A male model with a pretty normal life. He juggles modeling gigs with his job as a dad. Nice, very nice. Besides selfies, he's still posing for the best photographers in the world and beating out models half his age to book jobs.
29th then to Mexico City?
Yeah, the 29th. I believe it's in Mexico City. I'm just waiting to get more details on the job.
Okay. It's pretty amazing.
He's the male equivalent of Naomi Campbell or Giselle. These Versace and Guess ads are from 1996, when he was 24. And at 43, he's still modeling underwear as the face of Hugo Boss. What is it like?
Oh, God. It's part of the job, so
Sure.
it's fine. It's fine.
You're every day. Have coffee, breakfast,
No,
go to the
you
gym,
know.
look yourself in the billboard.
No.
It all started when he was 16 in Sweden.
A girl in my class told me that I should try it. I was pretty fortunate and got going pretty well. Honestly, if it wasn't paying the bills like pretty much right away, I probably wouldn't have stuck with it.
Really would have given up.
It's something I really enjoy doing, absolutely working with these photographers and these fashion brands, and it's a lot of fun. Traveling I enjoy, but you know, if you can't pay your bill, what's the point, right?
How is it being a part of an industry that does have a time limit?
You know what? I never thought I would still be doing it as much as I am today. You can't really take anything for granted because you wake up every day and you're unemployed more or less. You know, you're just waiting for you know, the phone to ring or for appointments.
But even if he never worked again, he's in much better financial shape than most male models.
Alex Lundquist, he would pretty much be considered the male supermodel.
Taylor Hendrick is his agent at Wilhelmina.
Your mid-range strong catalog model can make like $250,000 to $300,000 a year. If you're a new face, first year out, you know, $40,000 or $50,000. If you're a star, for instance, like Alex Lundquist or guys like that, they make upwards over $500,000 just coming from one agency.
The biggest models can earn millions. And what has allowed Alex to work for so long? A lot of it boils down to You guessed it, looks. He has a commercial look that appeals to a lot of advertisers.
Careers on male models last differently per talent. If you're an editorial talent, usually we start them out at like, say, 17, 18 years old. And they'll probably have 3 or 4 seasons of a lot of great work, and then maybe it will fall off. A commercial model on the other end can start in their early 20s and work all the way up until their mid-40s, 50s, and onwards.
The agents that I worked with, we would look at each other and say, oh, I would date him, and that basically meant he was boyfriend handsome, which means that men and women could relate to that look. Now, if you have that look, you could have a career that spans 10, 15 years. But if you have a look that's on trend, that is not sustainable. Boys that are giving this kind of heroin chic rock star look, they're not sustainable looks.
Everybody has a look that somebody wants. It's just being in the right place at the right time and putting yourself out there and believing that you can actually do it.
After a year in the business, Cameron decided to return home to Georgia. And instead of flying, he took the bus to save money.
$60 one way.
15 hours between New York and Atlanta.
When I'm not modeling, I try to find like catering jobs or, little odds and end jobs here and there to get some extra money in my pocket.
He wants to be able to help his mom pay off her house. But back home, he's borrowing her car to get around town.
Do you think anyone that's seen you on the cover of Vogue Italy has any idea that you have to borrow your mom's car?
No, probably not. They probably wouldn't think that, because you see somebody on the cover of Vogue, you instantly think that, oh man, they're making, crazy good money.
When we visited, he was hoping to hear back from Givenchy on a possible campaign. But until then, he's back in his old bedroom.
This would be my room. It's kind of become a catch-all for the miscellaneous objects when I'm not here.
Here's your comp card.
Yes, that is from London. Established London. Here's the one from Independent Milan. Here I'm stuck in this room, I'm hanging out in this room or at a friend's house. Like in New York or Milan or something like that. It's much more fast-paced. I'm like out in the city doing things, getting things done. Whereas here I'm just kind of lounging around being lazy.
This is real life for a lot of models. The business catapulted him to a world that was otherwise entirely out of reach.
Before we were just hanging out at a little apartment house, and then next thing you know, he's Snapchatting me in Thailand. It's kind of a change to what I'm used to. I'm used to the friends that you grow up with from 5 years old that never leave from the same street, and he's sitting here calling me from other countries, and if anything, I'm like, all right, send me a picture.
But what's not clear is where he's going.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
As the face of a couple major brands and, still traveling the world.
What's the biggest struggle?
I knew I was going to end up accumulating debt with agencies as, they helped me out with, flights and accommodations and stuff like that. But I was under the impression that you still got a percentage of the earnings from your jobs. It turns out you don't see any of the money from any of your jobs until all of your debt is cleared.
When does that happen? When do you think things will turn around?
Honestly, it's hard to tell. There's so many people out there within this industry, gunning for the same jobs you are. It really does come down to a little bit of luck as to whether you book a good enough job to help pay off your debt.
What do you want for him?
Be happy, get the most out of life. And if it turns out in 10 years that it's something else, then as long as he's happy doing it, that's all I want.
Whether he succeeds financially or not, modeling has helped a young man who had a lot of trouble move on.
You're my pride. You have to take any negative in life and learn from it and grow, and that's what I think he's done. He's adapted, he's coped well.
She always knew I had potential. It was just me being able to see that I had that potential. So once I was able to actually see I had potential and put it towards something, I think she was just really proud and happy that I'm aspiring to do something with myself.
When I first started modeling, I thought this career was a fast track to money and fame. Turns out it was a lot more unglamorous than I expected. Out of all the guys I met in the business, only one, Alex Lundquist, is still modeling today. Truth is, I've made a lot more money bartending than actually modeling. But modeling allowed me to travel the world and to meet some amazing people. Just to give you guys an update, Cameron is back in Georgia. Unfortunately, he did not land that big Givenchy campaign he was hoping for, but plans on returning to New York during Fashion Week. Look, being a model can be tough. It probably won't make you rich. But looking back on my modeling days, I gotta be honest, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm Pedro Andrade. Thank you so much for watching. How did you get discovered? How did modeling begin for you?
It was funny because my mom actually always thought I had the potential to be a model.
It was actually my mom. She was bugging me for a long time.
My mom kind of did.
So my mom had pressured me to model for a while.
If you had to define your own style in one word, what would it be?
Classic.
Fashion. Unfashionable.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I have no real style.
Simple.
One word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Probably basic.
Cheesy.
That's hashtag, ball is life. That's what it is.
Awesome.
Weirdly, casually cool.
I like weird.
3 words, that's tops.
Fresh. Whatever. I don't care. Literally.